Okay, we're going to talk about selling at craft shows today because I've had a lot of questions in the last 6 weeks, and hopefully some of those people will, or at least a few of those people will watch this. I've written some notes to kind of keep track of what we're talking about. So, markets would be referring to summer markets that go every Saturday. I go to one that goes every Tuesday. So it's all summer long. You go every week or as much as you can. And events refer to one time shows. They're usually in the spring, fall, and holidays. When picking a show, you need to think about the type of customer they get, the type of show they're putting on. Is it a fine art show? Is it handmade only? Is it a mixed show? And I like shows that they are established. I'll go to a show that's they've only done it for 3 years, but I prefer if they've done it for 5 or more years. They have a more established clientele. People know what's coming. It takes a while for people to learn, oh, they're going to be there every November, third week. You have to train your customers, just like you train your customers on the website, what they look for. Also, when you're shopping, think about what you'd like to shop for. A lot of people will show up at a show and think that isn't what they were shopping for, but they went to a fine art show. It doesn't have any crafts. Or they went to a gun show and they're surprised that there's not a lot of miscellaneous vendors. So think about where you're shopping, where you're selling. Don't oversaturate yourself. And what I mean by that is schedule your shows not every month in the same town. At a market, summer market, that's fine. But my schedule this fall, I went to one in September in the closest town, and I will go again in November. People have already asked me this week if I'm going to be there or sent me messages. Only a couple people, but they're counting on me to be there, and I will be there in November. But in December, I will be farther up in the valley. I will be in Hamilton, and I'm based in Montana. That way, I'm spread out a little bit. I reach different people. It's more fun for me that way. It's more fun for my customers. I did have at the last show that I did, someone ask if I would come to their show in the same venue the next weekend. And I said no. And I know they were disappointed, but going 2 weekends in a row in the same place at special events, that doesn't really benefit me as a vendor. It benefits them because they sell vendor booths, but I did really well at the first show I did. So showing up again the next weekend doesn't really make it special. So I spread myself out. I do ask I do ask about attendance and how long the show's been around. I ask how they advertise. I have been lied to about these things. Just do your best. Pick your shows based on what they say. It's always really good to check out shows the year before you're going to do them. Or if you have vendor friends are great. I always ask them, do you know of these people? I've been approached by groups and I've asked other vendors, hey, this group's putting on a show and nobody's ever heard of them. Well, I'm not going to go to that show. I have done it before. I don't recommend it. Usually they're poorly attended. It's a waste of 8 or more hours of my day. Setup takes me about an hour and a half. My shows can be anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. Teardown can take me 45 minutes, and then the travel time to get there. So it's a lot of investment, not just in the booth fees, but in time to go to these events. And let's talk about booth fees. I've paid $5 for a booth at a summer market and done great. I've also paid $5 and done not so great. I've paid $50 for a booth, maybe $45, and made $600. I paid $250 for a booth and also made $600. So being promised there's great sales doesn't always mean you'll make great sales. And that's okay. It's part of learning, of selling. Always read the rules. Typically, if they've been around, they're going to have rules. Where to park, where to unload, where to put your car once the show starts, which is not in the parking lot out front. That's for customers. You have to move your vehicle farther away. This gets a little harder in towns that have sidewalks because usually people who live in those neighborhoods want to park on the sidewalks. So ask where to park. They should have already have a designated vendor parking. I can't think anything else about the rules that would come up about setting up. Well, they do have times that you can set up and tear down. They have the parking. There's one other thing I should think about the rules. Oh, what you can sell. It depends on the show. Not a lot of shows are going to accept people who sell products from other companies. I think they're MLM sellers. I'm not quite sure about what they're called. There are mixed craft shows that will accept you. They usually only accept a few. I can't think of any spring, summer, and holiday, or spring, fall, and holiday shows that would accept someone selling someone else's products. Most of the time they need to be handmade, and you need to be really careful about what you call handmade. I make all my products. I paint, I do watercolor, and I order metal, sheet metal and metal wire, and craft my jewelry from totally from hand, by hand. I know other jewelers need to be clear because they order parts and assemble earrings, mostly beaded earrings, but assembling jewelry and making jewelry by hand are two different things. So be really specific when you're talking to an event host about what you're selling, so they get a feel of what kind of vendor you are. You also usually need to show pictures of a booth that you've previously had, several different setups, some of your newer items that you're creating. You usually need to provide your website. Things like, I can't really think of anything else a vendor host would ask for to be approved. Location and area, picking a location and area. I'm really lucky. I live by several towns that have good customer base. They also have people coming to visit in this area. Tourists come through. It's a really beautiful place. It's also by mountains and rivers, scenic areas, and it fits well with what I make, which is nature-based jewelry and a lot of nature-based paintings. I can't really think of anything else to tell you. I'm picking shows. I think I covered all my notes. But if you have any questions, be sure to message me either on Instagram at @CatDogVines. I'll put that in the description. You can leave a comment here on YouTube and I'll try to get to it. Thank you.